When I went into the mosque in the middle of the day, I kind of wandered in, as I do, you know. So what happened was, I realized, oh shit, I'm about to pray for the first time in a mosque. And no one knows I'm not Muslim, right? But here's what I want to do. I need a couple more Muslim men who could come up and who we could do the prayer with, Bassem. So listen.
A lecturer in the United States stood before hundreds of students and introduced the Islamic prayer. But here's what makes this moment extraordinary. Professor Sam Richards, a sociologist at Penn State University, is not a Muslim. He isn't preaching Islam, and he has nothing to prove. He is simply a scholar, an outsider who found himself touched by something he never expected. Far from home, something touched his heart, and his journey began in one of the most majestic places on earth.
A few years back, I was in Istanbul, and this is the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. And I stayed in a hotel right across from the Blue Mosque. It's and I stayed in a hotel, and outside my window, I could see this, right? And, you know, imagine the call of prayer coming from the Blue Mosque.
Yes, yes.
I'm just constantly being drawn outside. It's the most beautiful. It's one of really the most beautiful structures I've ever seen in my entire life.
You know,
so go to the next slide. When I went into the mosque in the middle of the day,
Now listen carefully, because what happened when Professor Richards stepped inside that mosque is something he could never have planned. He walked in simply to look around, nothing more. But as he stepped onto the soft carpet and let the silence surround him, something in that sacred atmosphere reached his heart. He didn't go there seeking an experience, yet the experience found him. What he felt inside that mosque, quiet, unexpected, and deeply human, is an experience that would stay with him for the rest of his life. This is how he describes that moment.
And I took my shoes off and I went out and walked around to look at it. And at some point in time, I was drawn to sit down in a meditative posture. And I sat down against one of the pillars, really going into this beautiful space and not knowing, because I sort of pulled myself out of my mind a little, not realizing that people were starting to line up. So you think back to that other photo of people lining up, right? And so as I'm sitting there, I suddenly I feel something, and I open my eyes, and there's a couple guys calling me up, because you got to fill in the spaces. So what happened was, I realized, oh shit, I'm about to pray for the first time in a mosque. And then it was like, oh cool, this is going to be really cool, because I'm called up. Now I got to stand up, and no one knows I'm not Muslim, right?
And then came the moment everyone in the room would remember, a moment where understanding moved from words to demonstration. After sharing his personal experience in the mosque, Professor Richards wanted his students to see what he saw, to feel even for a few seconds, the beauty, the unity, and the synchronization of the Muslim prayer. So he called a few Muslim students to the front of the room, not to preach, not to convert, but simply to show, because sometimes the best way to understand a people is to witness their worship, to see how their bodies move, how their hearts align, how their souls bow together.
But here's what I want to do. I need a couple more Muslim men who could come up and who we could do the prayer with, Bassem. So listen, what I want you to do, bro, is you're going to be me, okay? And this room is filled up with Muslims, and you got to do what they do, and you can't let them know you don't know what the hell's going on. All right?
This is the prayer now they call it the adhan. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat, hayya ala al-falah. قد قامت الصلاة وقد قامت الصلاة. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. I'm going to say it now in English so they know what I'm saying. Allahu Akbar means God is great. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, it means I swear there's only God, the only one, I follow him. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, I testify that Muhammad is his prophet. Hayya ala salah, come to prayer. Qad qamat salah, it means time for prayer. Go ahead.
Dude, nice. You killed it. Yeah.
In fact, what we just witnessed is more than a lesson about prayer. It is a lesson about humility, openness, and the power of human experience. Professor Sam Richards is not a Muslim. He didn't grow up practicing these rituals, and he didn't come to teach anyone about Islam. Yet through curiosity, courage, and a willingness to step into the unknown, he discovered something profound, a glimpse of a world he had never known, a moment that touched his heart, and a truth that transcends faith. This story reminds us that even a single moment of openness can shatter walls, break barriers, and awaken hearts. And when hearts awaken, the world itself can change. Thank you for watching.